Well, after this video, it's time for a WebBot summary, as Cliff just released his latest WebBot report. But first, more shenanigans regarding the Hillary Clinton email scandal, FBI with their blanket immunity to people, and then the FBI decides after their so-called investigation, they're going to destroy the laptops of two of the individuals they were investigating so that nobody else, of course, could get on those laptops and do a real investigation. Unbelievable. So, which congressman was this? Bob Goodlatte, chairman, House Judiciary Committee, sends a letter to Loretta Lynch, Attorney General. I have some issues. Here's his letter. Dear Attorney General Lynch, as part of the Judiciary Committee's ongoing oversight of Secretary Clinton's unauthorized use of a private email server during her tenure as Secretary of State, the Justice Department provided in-camera review of certain immunity agreements after a specific request from the committee based on references made in the immunity agreements to certain side agreements. Department of Justice subsequently provided in-camera review of those side agreements between Department of Justice, the FBI, and Beth Wilkinson, the lawyer representing both Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson. Like many things about this case, these new materials raise more questions than answers. Please provide a written response to the below questions and make Department of Justice staff available for a briefing on this matter no later than October 10th, 2016. And he has 10 questions that he wants answered. Number 1, why did the FBI agree to destroy both Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson's laptops after concluding its search? Number 2, doesn't the willingness of Miss Wills and Miss Samuelson to have their laptops destroyed by the FBI contradict their claim that the laptops could have been withheld because they contained non-relevant, privileged information? If so, doesn't that undermine the claim that the side agreements were necessary? Number 3, have these laptops, or the contents of the laptops, in fact been destroyed, thereby making follow-up investigations by the FBI or congressional oversight impossible? Number 4, for both the Mills and Samuelson laptops, please provide individual numbers on the following. A through G. A, how many total documents were reviewed by the FBI filter review team from the Mills and Samuelson laptops? B, how many documents did the FBI filter review team deem to be privileged and withhold from the FBI investigative team? C, how many documents were ultimately turned over from the Mills and Samuelson laptops to the FBI investigative team? D, how many documents were withheld from the FBI investigative team from each laptop for lack of relevancy? E, how many documents were withheld from the FBI investigative team because they fell outside the date range agreed to between Department of Justice and Miss Wilkinson in the side letters dated June 10th, 2016? F, please indicate how many documents were withheld from the FBI investigative team because they were both non-relevant and outside the agreed-upon date range. In G, how many classified documents, broken down by national security classification level, were on each of Mills and Samuelson's laptops? Not sure exactly who this guy is. Never really heard of his name before, but boy, does he know the exact questions they answer. And I can't wait to see the response. The response is going to be shocking. I can't believe they did that. Why did they not include those, etc.? Kind of like the 9/11 Commission that was handpicked to review some things and was set up, as some of them in the commission said, we were set up from the beginning to fail. Same reasons. This would be the exact same thing. FBI investigative team. Why don't you think you found more on this? Why don't you think you found some more documentation or more stuff on their laptops that would help the case? Because we were set up to fail. How were you set up to fail? The review team failed to give us certain things that we had no control over. So if we don't see those certain things, we can't do anything about it. Oh, so you were set up to fail. Gotcha. That's exactly that. Mark my words. That is precisely what's going to happen here. You're going to find out there was a lot of documents that they just didn't get their hands on, and now it's too late because they've destroyed the laptops. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Would you, when the FBI gets something from you, or you're being investigated or whatever, they come in with the warrant. We're taking that. You get it back when they're done. Actually, we're going to do you a favor. We're going to destroy your nice 2 laptops, real nice equipment you got here. We're just going to destroy them after the investigation. Why? Why are you destroying? We searched the car for drugs. Our review team withheld a bunch of stuff, so we don't know what they withheld. But once we got a hold of the car with what they allowed us to see, we discovered there's nothing wrong with the car. There's no drugs in there. So we went ahead and took it down to the scrap shop and let them destroy it for you. Does this make any sense? Not even kind of. I didn't think so. Number 5. Please provide the privilege log for all documents withheld by the filter review team from the FBI investigative team for both the Mills and Samuelson laptops. If no such log was created, please create one. In the same manner, the department requires private parties to satisfy their obligations under Fed R-Civ P26. Number 6, please provide any opinion, memo, or other materials, whether formally endorsed or not, from the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel or the FBI Office of the General Counsel related to the following. A. Department of Justice and FBI procedures on privilege review. B. The validity of Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson's claim of attorney-client privilege with respect to Secretary Clinton. And C. The ability of Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson to sit in on the investigative interview of Secretary Clinton. Is that not crazy? They're both going to sit in on the interview of Secretary Clinton. Unbelievable. Yeah, come on in. Normally we'd keep you in here and scare you to death like we're going to throw you in jail. But nah, this is a party. It's actually a party. Come on in, Clinton. Bring your 2 friends. It's all good. Conflict of interest? Not at all. Bring them in. We're going to have a little party back here. Number 8. Why was this limit necessary when Miss Mills and Miss Samuelson were granted immunity for any potential destruction of evidence charges? Right. So why did you have to limit anything? We should have been able to see it all. They already have immunity, whatever. Number 9. Please confirm whether a grand jury was convened to investigate Secretary Clinton's unauthorized use of a private email server. Disclosure is authorized under whatever subsection C. A grand jury. We felt like it wouldn't matter in this case. Oh, why is that? Because they would have found her 100% guilty. All charges guilty. That's a Big 10-4. We can't allow that, so we don't do it. We don't want to go with the grand jury on this one. But if you did this, if you had some kind of clearance at all, and you did even a smidgen of what Hillary Clinton was doing with her email server, you would be in the deepest trouble. And all I think about every time I wake up these days, last couple months, where the story's really gotten traction as far as the whole Clinton email scandal. Oh my God, handing out immunity like candy. FBI, we're not going to reopen the case, but she has an intent now. That's okay. We're still not going to open, all this stuff. It is clear as clear can be. Number 1, we all know there's no rule of law at the top. And number 2, they are absolutely on Team Clinton because they're all part of Team Club. Like I've always said, you don't have the crime boss family with the big boss mob, and Uncle DeVito at the top. DeVito, the Godfather, who's got his son underneath him and his daughter underneath him, and they've got their people underneath them. Oh, Sir Godfather, one of your cousin's uncle's brothers got a little problem today with the police. You guys are on the jury, the grand jury. No problem. We'll go to court today. How do you think Uncle Vito or the Godfather DeVito is going to find their cousin's uncle's brother in court that day? You think you're going to find him guilty of charges or not guilty? Of course, not guilty. Even when you have, in this analogy, camera evidence, multiple cameras, cell phone cameras, you name it, showing the brother's cousin, uncle, whatever, pulling a gun and shooting somebody right in the face, killing him. And the guy was just standing there, not doing anything. It was a mob hit. Nah, we the jury. We find my uncle's brother. Not my anything actually. This gentleman over here, not guilty on all charges. Right? That's how the club works. It's just mafia. It's no different. So whenever I hear this and see this crap going on right now, and I keep seeing FBI just helping old Hillary as best they can. Not going to reopen the case. We already went down that road. There's nothing to see here. But you said there was no intent. There's absolute intent now due to the release of emails now. Well, we're not opening it back up. And I think of a couple of major things that have happened in this country in which the FBI was completely in charge and Americans died. Two things come to mind. Ruby Ridge and Waco, Texas. So when you see these people at the top, the FBI, in your face doing this, completely against the law, understand that those were the same people present during those two incidents when we were all told these were like a paramilitary group they were after. What about Ruby Ridge? It was just kind of a husband and wife and kid, and no? Paramilitary? Yeah, okay, whatever. Sniped through the door, killed the lady, whatever. FBI guy did it, FBI agent. So when you see these guys on TV lying to your face and you recognize, oh my God, these guys are part of the Clinton, or not necessarily the Clinton, it's just the club mafia. And they were present on those two events, and we took the information we got from them as truth. They were stopping this militia movement, and these guys opened fire on them, and they returned fire. And you want to know something interesting before I end this? That's it. He's pretty much done. I always can't help but thinking of John Teeter again. And he used what I just said, the Waco event. And because someone asked him about the Civil War, and he says, it stems from a problem with the elections. He/she, president, was more concerned with keeping the status quo going more than anything else that was happening at that time. He/she, president. Interesting term, as I've said. Maybe because it's a she, and he said this 16 years ago. Interesting. But he said something like, "Well, what do you expect, or what would you want to happen? What would you expect to happen?" He says, for example, if the allegations made against the law enforcement regarding Waco were actually true, what would you hope came out of that? So what he's saying is, if the allegations was that you opened fire on innocent civilians and killed them, that's the allegations. Of course, no, they shot us first. That's the official story. So the allegations are that the government killed these people. They were never fired on at first. That's the allegations. So he's saying, what would you do? What do you think should be done? What would you do if those allegations became true? And it's in relation to the Civil War that starts. Also, which he says it stems from a problem with the elections. And as you can see, right, I realize we're a month away practically from the elections. And you can already see Hillary ain't backing down. And again, she had another rally again in a church. I saw pictures of it, actually. I think it was on Alex Jones' InfoWars, if I recall. He has pictures of it all over the place. Tons of seating. And hardly anybody, I mean hardly anybody, showed up for this thing. You cannot tell me she'll win, 51-49 she took it, or whatever numbers they give you. So it's nonsense. He's gonna wipe the floor with her, technically speaking. Trump will. But we're gonna find out. My opinion here. Clinton won the elections. She won. Oh yay! She did it. She did it. She won. And everyone's gonna say, "Are you freaking kidding me?" We have exit polls saying he won 65 to like 30. The other 5%, whatever. It's for the third party or whatever. 65 to 30, man, or whatever the hell it is, right? Sorry. We counted the machine. The vote said, well, we want a recount. We'll give you a recount. We'll even give you a recount. Voting machines checked out okay. They're working as supposed to. So you could see the elections being stolen from a he/she, and she becomes president, right? I find that interesting because, again, we have the Baba Vanga thing where, no, there's no she. It's a he. It's a black he who will be president, 44th president. She said this way long time ago. She's died in 96. And all of her comments have been recorded, essentially. Her prophecies, whatever you want to call them, her visions. She wasn't 100% accurate, by the way. But she was damn close. She was, really good. So, as I said in my other video, there's this other lady, what was her name? I just did it. I just told you about her. And I've got a 4-hour video that I'm going to be watching to see. And allegedly, she's kind of saying the same thing. And I had someone email me, I heard your video, man. You're going to really enjoy that video. You're going to really enjoy what she says. It's good. You're going to enjoy this one. So I'm like, maybe I will. But I'll be honest with you, I don't care about enjoying anything. All I'm after is knowledge, information. Good, bad, whatever. Give it to me. I'll try to discern it myself, but I want all information. I'm not biased. I'm not Democrat, Republican. I don't care about that crap. I just want information, and I just want to share information. Take care.